Welcome to MD Quickfire Podcast with Matt and Emily.
Gary Cassidy, inTec business, I specialise in mobile comms, communications. We specialise anything from a SIM only up to full IoT and MTM support. So whether it be the latest iPhone for somebody, one of your directors or someone that you work with, or it be a full fleet service where you need networks throughout the UK. We've got fleets travelling all over the UK. We have a SIM product that has all 4 networks on one number, so you will never lose service within the UK, apart from the dead spots where all the networks don't work. So all through the arterial routes of the UK, main roads, etc., into small villages, you will have coverage on one network or another.
So for me then, taking away from that, the caravan parks, would that be a good introduction to yourself for people who don't?
Yeah, funnily enough, I live on the outskirts of a caravan park. My bungalow is bang on an entrance of a caravan park in Wales. With 5G being integrated into a lot of new mast technology being installed in rural areas at the moment, a lot of the way we use internet and broadband has changed. Fixed line, fibre is now just as quick through a 5G network. You don't necessarily need OpenReach to install a line now. So you've got options like Starlink, which is owned by Tesla, which uses satellites, or you've got the 5G networks covered by the 4 major UK networks. So whichever network is in your area, within the next 2 years, you'll be able to get 5G.
So anybody looking to get into your industry, what challenges have you faced that they may come across themselves?
Learning. There's a lot to take in. So I specialise in mobile. I've been in the mobile industry for 22 years, and there's a lot to take in, and the industry moves very, very quickly. There's a lot of change all the time. With the IT stuff and everything that inTec do as well, there is obviously new products. Microsoft rule the roost in essence when it comes to software for PCs, but there's loads of stuff behind that as well, with AI now coming to the forefront, where most of your work can be done by artificial intelligence. It's learning the basics and then adding on all the new technology to the basics, but the basics are always important. And with mobile as well, if you're learning IT or you're learning mobile, you need to know vice versa. You need to know the whole portfolio of products and services that can be offered, because they all work together. Now, it's not a separate IT and mobile proposition anymore.
It's such a fast-paced environment, isn't it? Completely changing all the time.
So much so. I've been in it for 20 years, and my first phone when I was 16, so we're looking at 25 years ago, was a Nokia Ringo.
Playing Snake on it?
No. You couldn't even get Snake on it.
Honestly.
My number started...
Are you showing your age there now?
No, my number started 08 before it changed to the 07. And you couldn't even text. And you could only store 10 numbers. And it didn't have a physical SIM card. It was built into the phone. So then we go into the Nokia 5110s and stuff, and the 3210 and 3310, and you've got Snake and no aerial. And then you've got your camera phones. So Nokia came out with the camera phone. Sony Ericsson came out with their K700i, the T68is, and the K800s. And they started doing the Walkman phones, the W800s and
The
stuff.
Mobile Whiz.
There's not much I don't know, to be fair, Phil. So even in that small 5-year period, we've gone from phones with no SIMs to full screen with cameras. And then Nokia launched the first 1 megapixel camera phone, the 7610. But now we're getting 48 to 100 megapixel, which is better than some SLRs on your phone. That's why most movie studios use iPhones to do action scenes, because it's in full HDR. So the industry does change, and with products in mobile, it's not just necessarily a SIM card or a service. You've got the device added onto it, which can benefit people in so many different ways. So whether it be an iPhone with an Apple Watch, which I wear daily, where I've currently got high blood pressure, I'll be honest, because I'm overweight, because I put loads of weight on since my first one.
You're a good-looking fella, though, eh?
But it manages my heart rate. So there is tools there that can help anybody. And the cool thing about smart devices and mobile phones now is not one phone is the same. As soon as you take it out of the box and add your stuff to it, everyone's different. Every single one is unique to you. Yeah.
What's the biggest risk you've taken within your business?
The biggest risk I've taken in my business was taking the job for inTec, because I've got my own business as well. So I left a £60,000 a year job to go and work for somebody I knew for 25 grand to 30 grand a year. And that's just because they've used my business for 10 years. So I still get to do my business through inTec, but I work for inTec as well. So I've got a steady income coming in. That was probably a big risk, but it paid off. I've taken many, many risks in my industry.
So the rewards then, so for anybody thinking, you've touched on the challenges is where people will have to be constantly training, constantly learning. It's always going to be fast-paced evolving. What are the rewards, or what gives you the drive and the passion to get out of bed that they can take away? And
the more you know in this industry, the more you're going to make and have security for your family. In my team, in the mobile side of it, I am the most technically minded in my team.
Comes across, yeah.
So I've got a colleague who's 63, who's worked for inTec for 27 years in mobile, but they only specialise in Vodafone because they don't want to learn anything else. So their customer database is just purely Vodafone, where I do all 4 networks, do all the tech side. So they come to me for technical support, and I enjoy the technical aspect of it. So yesterday, for an example, I travelled from Mid Wales to Manchester to set up 2 phones for a client because they're retired. They didn't know what to do. So I went into their property, transferred all the data, mirror image, make sure they were happy, cleared their old devices, put a smile on my face. They're not really changing anything in their lives, and they're not stressing because I've taken the stress away. That's what I enjoy.
You touched on the elderly generation there. Do you find your customer base is elderly, or is it the young ones? Are they tech savvy?
It's mixed.
Is it?
It's so mixed. So you've got to morph into many different mindsets with clients. So you've either got to explain things in layman's terms, or sometimes younger people, I'll be honest, try and make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about because they've watched the latest video on YouTube. But I make sure that I'm one step ahead in the industry, so I know things are coming out before most people. I know what's ready to go, and I tell my team how the industry is going to change, etc. moving forward.
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
intecbusiness.co.uk, or you can call us directly in the mobile team on our landline number, which is 0161 929 1580. We've got a Manchester office, but we are full UK wide, so we have satellite offices throughout the UK specialising in IT and mobile support.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. And you've got a random question now. Have you been arrested in your lifetime? And if so, why?
No. I haven't.
He's just been winking like that,
I haven't. My friends have, but I haven't.
All right, brilliant. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You've been listening to MD Quickfire Podcast. To sponsor our show or appear as a guest, visit us at mdfitout.co.uk.